Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today being Sunday, the 15th of February 2026, I'd like to welcome you once more to our channel. And as I do so, I'd like to remind you about the importance of subscribing to the channel and commenting in the comment section, and comments not just on the content that we deliver, that we share with you here, but also on the methodology, the manner and approach in which we deliver the product to you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Your presence and participation are not taken for granted. It's highly appreciated. You'll recall that in one of our earlier sessions, very early sessions, we emphasized, we made mention of the fact that in the modern world, in the 21st century, as in many ways has been the case in earlier centuries as well, but we made note of the fact that for any country to honestly and truthfully claim sovereignty, that is complete independence as a country and as a people, a country must be able, among other things, to do two things. It must be able to defend its people, to safeguard its borders, and territory, and defend, ensure the safety of its citizens and residents, for them to be able to live their lives freely. That's number one, ability to defend your people. And number two, must have the ability to feed, that is, to provide adequate food for its people. Unless you can do those things adequately and freely, at some point in life, at some stage, your sovereignty as a country and independence and ability to live your own life as an independent state and country will be compromised and will always be vulnerable. That's the point that we mentioned it. Now, linked to that, last week we got into the topic of forensics and the challenges which we got from the developments, from the development, the current affairs of the country. We got to be aware of the failures and challenges that are being experienced at forensic laboratories in Pretoria, or with our forensic abilities as a country in the criminal justice system. We highlighted how dangerous that is and how unacceptable a state of affairs that is, and how and why it should be addressed quickly and as a matter of agency. Now, what I'd like to say is that, forensic is a function of a number of areas or capabilities. It's a function of a number of things, including capabilities in the engineering and the sciences. Those are the bases upon which all technologies and activities at forensic stages draw capabilities. So forensic is a function of those various engineering and various natural sciences. And in our case, particularly for this channel, with particular interest in the life sciences, the utilization of biotechnology, because then forensic labs analyze objectively and scientifically, say for instance, organic material could be tissue, human or animal tissues like blood, skin, hair samples, where samples are taken to be analyzed and used as part of investigations and development and production of evidence in the courts. So it's a very important area which should not be neglected, and which will have to be addressed drastically, and to improve our ability, because linked to the whole, if as a nation, as a country, as a people, you are not capable of conducting your own investigations, running your own scientific science and knowledge, science, engineering and knowledge-based processes that allows you to make sound and acceptable decisions, and allows the courts and the police, the prosecutions, and the broader criminal justice system to make acceptable, constitutionally and otherwise legally acceptable decisions, have the information, then we are doomed as a nation. So it's a very important area. Tonight, I thought I should say, as we all lambasted the sorry state in which our forensic laboratories, our forensic capabilities in terms of both infrastructure and technology utilization, infrastructure provision and technology utilization is the sorry state in which it is. So it's very important that investments, huge and deliberate investments, be made in these areas, and these investments made both by the public and private sectors of the economy. I've touched briefly on the issue of sovereignty. I said, it's not just the public sector in terms of the fiscus, in terms of national budget allocations, but the money available in the banking and money system part of it should be channeled to investments in those areas of forensics, so that we can be able to develop relevant and useful technologies. Not only develop it, but then to own and control the technical and knowledge that comes out of that. That will not happen at a scale that is necessary unless there are those investments. Take the PIC, for instance, Public Investment Commission. I don't have statistics with me, but I have no reason to believe that they've made in the last decades or so any significant investments in areas that have to do with the ultimate improvement of our forensic abilities as a nation and as a country. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I thought I should highlight that the importance of investment, not just from the public purse, but also from the banking and money system that circulates in the country. That's why I mentioned, I spoke, I emphasized the issue of sovereignty, because unless you control the banking and money system, you don't have you are not a government, you are not a country, you are not a sovereign state. So if some monies from the banking and money system are invested in those areas, then we'll see drastic and real improvements, because there is no country or society in the world that has ever made any significant improvements in the development of its people without developing relevant and owning and controlling relevant technologies. And that's what should happen, I believe should happen in our country and our continent. And that's the challenge that I would like us to think about today. Investments in those areas, in the engineering and various natural sciences, to improve our forensic capabilities as a country and as a continent. And those investments should come not only from public purse, but from the private banking, private money in the banking and money systems. In the public purse, we're talking about from the fiscus, that's budget allocation, but also beyond that, from institutions like the PIC, which hold a huge amounts of money from public servants. I think that's how far we can go tonight. We are sadly running out of time. Uthemba Wagamataba, thanking you again, and say until we meet next time, bye-bye.